Hey 6-8, it's Friday, and it's the day to take on the world. We're literally taking the world by storm every Friday when we watch our daily coaching tips. And so, today we're going to look at this passage from Matthew chapter 6. Remember, we're talking about, been kind of bringing this all together. Who am I? That's kind of the very last video of the Who Am I series. And then this is also, we were talking about worry and anxiety and everything in the world is falling apart. And how do we respond? How do we live out our faith when it seems like everything around us is falling apart? That's what we've been talking about all week. So let's read Matthew chapter 6, verse 25 and go from there. Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more important than food, and the body more important than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They don't sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Which of you by worrying can add a single hour to his life? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the lilies of the field grow. They don't labor or spin, yet I tell you, not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that's how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? So don't worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. I don't know if you've noticed, but we kind of live in a world where there's an abundance of conspiracies. There's an abundance of theories about how the world is going to end this way or that way, how if this thing goes this direction, that means it's all over, or if this thing happens this way, that means... Somebody, my son just peeked in here real quick. That was Henry. Anyway, if something else goes this way, then that means that the world's going to end in this way, or, look for these signs at the end times, and blah, 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 blah. The world is ending every day, and almost every day it seems like there's a new theory about how the world is going to end. And so, we live in a time where there's a plethora of ideas of the end of the world. Zombie apocalypse. We just saw a post this week come through my Facebook feed about how scientists have been given permission to use stem cells to try to reanimate somebody's dead brain. And within the next day, there was already a post coming through about how, why are you doing this? Don't you know that this is how zombies happen? It's like, there's the zombie apocalypse and the world has ended, and yada, yada, yada. So anyway, there's a plethora of ideas. There's a lot of things. There are a lot of opportunities for us to be kind of drawn into disaster, to be drawn into things that can make us anxious and worry. And if not these big disasters, then there are personal disasters. There are things that could happen or might happen in our lives. There are things that could happen or might happen in our friends' lives, the lives of the world around us. And what is our responsibility then as followers of Jesus Christ when it comes to how we handle anxiety and stress when we're in the world, when we're surrounded by people in the world? So, for one, I think we need to train our tongues a little bit, maybe, and myself included. We may have a tendency to kind of feed the desire or feed the fear with few words that we say that just kind of stir up the controversy or stir up the doubt or whatever it is. Just kind of, and I know myself, I've had a tendency to do this. Maybe we need to train our tongues to not say things that stir up fear unnecessarily. I think that's something that we need to work on. So when you're out in the grocery store and somebody's talking about the latest conspiracy theory, don't throw in your 2 words or your 2 cents to try to stir things up. Maybe instead, what we need to train ourselves to do and train our tongues to do is to offer words of peace and assurance. When somebody says that the zombie apocalypse is going to happen because they're trying to reanimate this brain, and say, well, it's just one person. Even if it works, they're not going to go spreading stem cells all over the rest of the world. We could probably put that theory to rest pretty easily. So I think we could probably put most of those to rest. And then when we can't, we just respond in peace, because that's what what Jesus gives us. He gives us peace. We're not worried about anything anymore because God is in control. We have his peace for all of these things. And so I would just encourage you today, as you're interacting with people in the marketplace, and you're interacting with people in the job place, interacting with people, civil people, whether it's government officials or authorities of different kinds, just do your best to offer peace. Try not to stir up worry. Try not to stir up anxiety and create fear, unnecessary fear, but do your best to bring peace to the situation. And I think that's one way we can kind of help make a mark as believers in Jesus Christ. Thanks for staying with us for all these videos for Who Am I? Next week we're starting Malachi, so be here on Sunday for Mother's Day to kick off a new series. We'll see you soon.